Trust the process. That's what Joel Embiid told Philadelphia 76ers fans for the last 4 or 5 years. Trust the process. The 76ers are going to be contenders pretty soon, and it looks like that time is now. As the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Los Angeles Lakers 107-106. A lot of NBA news, some NFL, a controversial one, and obviously we're going to be remembering the great Kobe Bryant. Before we go into it, I would like to introduce ourselves. Welcome to First Possession on CRYOUT TV. I am your host, John Iaguro, and I'm here with my partner, David Ogden-Bay. Let's dive straight into it because what we watched last night was phenomenal. Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers beat the Los Angeles Lakers 107-106, a game winner by Tobias Harris. Kevin Durant also beat the Atlanta Hawks. They're looking good. That trio looked good. And we're going to be in discussion right to the table. Who, my friend, do you think is the NBA MVP frontrunner?
I think it's unequivocally Joel Embiid. When you look at what Embiid is doing this year, we all know he's a great offensive player, but defensively, he's been great ever since he stepped in the NBA, but now he's even risen to even greater standards and greater heights because this is a guy that I think if he's not in your top 3, he's probably in the top 5 defensive player of the year voting. But offensively, obviously, that's where he's been the most sound this year. He's averaging 28 and 11, over 50% shooting from the field. He's even shooting the 3-ball with confidence, the best he shot 3-ball throughout his entire career. And when you consider the fact that Embiid has struggled with health, and that's been a huge crutch for him, this year he looks way better. He's in way better shape, taking care of his body. And not only has that helped his offense and defense, but it's helped the entire team. Guys are benefiting from the attention that he draws in the paint, unlike outside of Ben Simmons, I should say. Exclude him. They're playing 4-on-5 basketball when he's on the court. But Seth Curry, they've both benefited from each other. Seth Curry's benefiting from Joel Embiid because of the fact that he's a great rim protector and considering the fact he draws attention in the paint. And then you have you have Embiid who's benefiting from Seth Curry because shout out to Doc Rivers. He doesn't get a lot of credit for what he's doing right now this year because, what happened last year with the Clippers. A lot of people just think he's just a whatever coach. And I somewhat think he's kind of overrated sometimes. But he's done a lot of good things for this Sixers team, such as putting Seth Curry usually on the side of Joel Embiid, which is a very smart decision. But I just think that Embiid's dominance, considering the fact that they're number 1 in the Eastern Conference and they're number 1 in the league, I don't see how you can't say it's Embiid. And they're 0-4 when he does not play. They cannot win a game when he does not touch the court. And I just don't see the argument for him. I mean, I wouldn't say I don't see the argument for other people, but I feel like he should be the clear front runner because if any other guy was doing what he's doing, we would say they're the clear front runner. If LeBron was doing what he's doing, we'd say he's the front runner. If KD was doing what he's doing, we'd say he's the front runner. And that's not to say that those guys aren't having great seasons in their own right, but Embiid, considering the dominance he's showing on both sides of the court and considering the way that they're number 1 in their conference and in the league, I just don't see how he's not the MVP.
I mean, totally. Like we've both said, Joel Embiid, the dominance he's showing this season is astonishing, and the numbers he's putting up. But when you say, well, it's not like other guys aren't doing it. No, other guys are doing it because who I think is the MVP right now. Don't get me wrong, Embiid has had a phenomenal season. But I'm still going Kevin Durant.
Oh, brother.
I'm still going Kevin Durant because, they're first in the East. The 76ers, obviously, they're first in the East. But, the Nets are only 2 losses behind them. It's not like the Nets are under 500.
Talking about the Nets who lost to the Wizards?
Oh, come on, don't give me that. Let's not also talk about the 76ers so far having one of the easiest schedule in the NBA. That's not an excuse. You got to play who's in front of you, obviously, but they've had one of the easiest schedules in the NBA. And Kevin Durant, like I said before, coming off of 581 days without playing NBA basketball, his first day on the court, 30, and he's still doing that now, averaging 37 and 5. 30 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. 5.5 assists, that's not easy to do. You still got to. And, I think we're going to deal with this, like, throughout the course of the season where people just look at KD like, oh, he's got James Harden, he's got Kyrie Irving. They're supposed to win.
Yeah,
yes, that's true, but you still got to go out there and play basketball.
Oh,
KD still got to go out there and put up those numbers, and he's doing that at a high clip right now. And obviously with Joel, he looks healthy. He looks more,
very healthy.
He looks more scarier than usual. Obviously, Joel.
Unstoppable.
But I'm still going with Kevin Durant. Because, in my opinion, that's the best player on the planet.
Oh, my God. You gotta
right now.
stop.
And I'm going to say it
you
again
gotta stop
and again
that, man.
and again.
You
because
gotta
he is
stop
the best
that.
player
No,
on the planet.
No, he's not. That's LeBron James.
Don't give me
LeBron
that.
James has been the best player in the NBA since he's touched the NBA court. Actually, you can go back to, I'll say 2009. 2009.
That's
Since
ridiculous.
2009, LeBron James has been the best player in the league,
ridiculous.
bro. It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Who's taking the crown from him? Every time we doubt LeBron James, he comes back and proves why he's the best. Watch. In a couple months, you're going to be sitting here saying, man, I doubted LeBron James again.
If you want to say, oh, LeBron was the last to win a chip, KD was hurt. Who won the chip the year before KD got hurt? Kevin Durant.
No, Kawhi Leonard did it.
Okay, Kawhi Leonard won. Okay, but what was Kevin Durant? Hurt. The year before, who won it? Kevin Durant.
Are you really considering the years that he had?
Durant.
Are you no, it's not KD. No, you're not
KD
slick.
has been
You're
hurt.
not slick.
No.
You're not slick,
I'm going to tell you this.
That's disrespectful.
Kawhi won
so
one.
disrespectful.
LeBron won one. Both of those years, Kevin Durant was hurt.
That's so disrespectful.
The years he wasn't hurt, who won it? Kevin Durant. So don't give me that. He's
Are you talking about years that he faced the Cleveland Cavaliers with Rodney Hood and Jordan Clarkson?
They still had Kyrie Irving.
Are you talking about a year
2017, 2018? They had Kyrie. He still beat
they
them in
won,
five.
but they were still way better.
Okay, what are you gonna say? Oh, he didn't put up. He won Finals MVP.
Dude, he was playing with another top 5 player.
He put up his numbers.
Did he not have another top 5 player?
Did
he not have another top 5 player?
He was the best player on the court.
Did he have a top 5
player? He had for a team.
What? That doesn't matter.
He was still the best player on the court with LeBron James, with Kyrie Irving, with Steph Curry.
You can still argue he wasn't. You can still argue he wasn't, bro.
Who was?
Kevin Durant was amazing. 2017, I'll give it to you. He was the best player on the court.
2018, who was?
2018, you could argue LeBron was better than him, bro.
Oh,
you can argue
give me
LeBron
that.
was better than him.
Kevin Durant, when he's on the court, he's the best player on the planet, in my opinion. And you can go either way. You can even make a case for LeBron being the MVP because obviously they're second in the West, and LeBron at age 400 is still doing what he's doing. But if I had to pick somebody now, I'll still go Kevin Durant because NBA and MVP, we know it's all about narratives.
Not
all about,
Here we
but
go.
you've got to have the numbers.
That's fair.
You've got to have, obviously your team has got to be winning basketball games, and then you've got to put up the numbers. KD's averaging 30. 7 and 5. Those are MVP numbers to me. Obviously, and I think at the end of the year, the Nets will be the number 1 seed in the East. And then you cap that off with the numbers he's putting up. I don't see how you deny him the MVP.
Okay, so
but yeah, you can make it.
So we all know the MVP is based off of how successful you are, the numbers, and your narrative. You can have kind of like you gotta have like 2 out of the 3.
What would Joel's narrative be?
I say you gotta have like 2 out of the 3. I say you gotta have 2 out. So you don't always need a narrative every year. Giannis didn't really have a narrative like that last year, other than the fact they were the best team, which is that box.
The first one he robbed Harden, but that's another discussion for another day.
Oh my goodness, we're not doing that. But regardless, when you look at Embiid, he's in the same conference as Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has their team has lost to the Nets and the Hawks. They've lost to some subpar talent now. Their defense, mainly due to their defensive struggles. So how can you say that a guy who's in the same conference as Embiid and has lost to subpar competition should be the MVP over Joel Embiid?
The Nets have lost 2 less games than the Philadelphia 76ers.
They lost to the Wizards.
Don't give me the 76ers have bad losses too.
When Embiid's not playing, that's the point. That's why he's the MVP, bruh.
Who would you rather have on your team right now, Kevin Durant or Joel?
It's a tough question.
What?
Tough question.
Somebody get this guy.
Obviously, I'd rather
somebody get this guy.
That's not a fair question. We're talking about the MVP. That's a regular season award. We're talking about who is the best player so far this year, who's at the best season, and that's clearly Joel Embiid. Embiid's also way better on the defensive side of the ball, which we all know KD's not that great on this year. He hasn't been that great on the defensive side of the ball.
But he
hasn't been. He tries.
He averages
You're the same
He
guy.
averages just over 1 block a game.
Mind you guys,
He averages just over one block a game.
A block. Okay, like
Embiid averages 1.6.
I don't want to.
KD averages over 1.
So are you telling me blocks is everything in defense, bro?
I'm not saying
it's Hassan Whiteside the league defender now.
You don't have to be an elite lockdown defender. We know this.
They need him to be. They need him to be.
There's only a handful of elite lockdown defenders in the NBA.
Still, that doesn't take away from the fact that that adds on
Giannis won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Who does he defend?
Oh, come on. What does Giannis got to do with this? Why do you got to bring Giannis to everything, bro? What does Giannis do?
I'm just saying.
Giannis is sitting on his couch, eating his food, getting ready for whatever game they got next. And you got to bring Giannis into this.
He did win Defensive Player of the Year last year, right? Who does he lock down?
What does that mean?
Who does he shut down?
That has nothing to do with this. That has nothing to do with it. He just wants to throw shots at Giannis for no reason right now.
There's only a handful of guys that can actually lock down and shut down defenders. Maybe Kawhi, Ben Simmons. It's only a handful of them. So you can't say, oh, Kevin Durant is not the greatest defender. No, he tries.
Bro, first of all, remove Giannis and Kawhi. This has nothing to do with them because I know that's what you like to do. You like to change the topic.
It doesn't.
But you like to change the topic. In regards to Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid, Joel Embiid is far better on the defensive side of the ball, which has heavily impacted their team. So I can use how great he is on defense as part of my argument when Kevin Durant is struggling on that side of the ball due to the load that he has this year in Brooklyn.
There's an award for that. It's called Defensive Player of the Year. That is not what we're arguing. All right?
Wait, so defense doesn't matter in the NBA?
It does matter, but there's another award for that, which is Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
but right now
they're not mutually exclusive. They can be both be true, bro.
MVP. All right? James Harden won the MVP. Is he a great defender? No. There are guys who have won the MVP who haven't been the greatest of defenders. But right now, I'm telling you, Kevin Durant is my MVP. All right? You can make a case for him, Joel, or LeBron, but
I have LeBron higher than Kevin Durant.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous?
That's ridiculous.
The man who's like 5,000 years old, averaging 26, 8, and 8. It's ridiculous.
That's good
50% shooting, 40% from 3.
That's good for him. But you can't tell me LeBron has been better than Kevin Durant.
Yes, LeBron is the best player in the NBA until further notice. It's the truth. It's the truth.
Okay.
It's just the truth.
Okay, that's
I'm sorry. And he's coasting.
Really?
Yeah, he's coasting.
That's where we're going now, so he's not even trying?
He's not even trying. He's not even trying.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I mean, that's why they lost last night, because he wasn't trying.
No, they lost because Anthony Davis didn't show up. That's why they lost. That's why they lost.
LeBron fans, I don't know if
you're not even a LeBron sexual like that.
When the Lakers lose, it's always, Anthony Davis didn't show up.
LeBron had 38,
Kyrie didn't show up.
6.
Kyrie didn't show up, or this guy didn't show up, or that guy didn't show up. When does LeBron ever get to take the full blame of his team not winning?
The full blame? The man who dropped 30, 6 and 6 deserves blame?
Come on. I'm just saying. It's always another guy's fault. It's always
People are so quick to take the crown off the king, but nobody has ever dethroned him. Who's dethroning him? Who's dethroned him? Kevin Durant when he had a stacked team?
How many guys?
Kevin Durant had the Mario Brothers?
How many guys won a ring on LeBron's watch?
What kind of argument is that? Didn't KD lose? KD lost to Steph and went to go join him. So what kind of argument is that?
Don't give me that.
What do you mean don't give you that? He blew a 3-1 lead and then went to go join my guy, Steph Curry. He's trying to take away from his legacy.
Okay.
So I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, bro.
Your guy.
I don't want to hear that,
man. Win more chips. Come on, man. Anyways.
My guy won a chip on his watch while beating him. So I don't care.
And he came and won 2 more for him.
That's not really the point, though.
I'm just saying.
That's not the point.
Kevin Durant is the best player.
Go ahead. He didn't just join him, by the way. He joined Clay, Draymond, all of the squad.
Don't worry. In July, we'll be having another conversation.
Yeah, we will. When LeBron gets ring number 5.
Lifting the championship and final MVP on each hand, we'll be having another discussion.
I'm sure we won't, but okay.
This guy, man. This guy. Anyways, moving on. Is the sky blue? It's the sky blue. I mean, it's the sky blue.
I don't know. I gotta go check.
That's what Bradley Beal answered when a reporter asked him, is he frustrated due to the Wizards' recent struggles? Is the sky blue? That's what Bradley Beal responded. The Wizards is going through a tough time right now.
Really tough time. Really tough.
Anyways, they start off with a 3-11 record. The second worst in the East. One of the worst in the entire NBA.
No, they are the worst.
They are the worst in the entire NBA.
They stink. They smell.
This is a team that, we all had high hopes of, coming into the season, made the trade for Russell Westbrook, and, now they're disappointed. And now I have to ask you, is it time for Bradley Beal to force his way out of Washington? And where do you think he should land?
I think unequivocally that answer is yes. Just like how I think unequivocally Embiid's the MVP, but we dropped that a couple minutes ago. But regardless, Bradley Beal right now is currently leading the league in scoring. He just dropped 47 yesterday against the New Orleans Pelicans. And to be fair, the Pelicans, it's not like they're some like defensive juggernaut. Yeah. Like they're not even a great team. I think they only have they're 6-11 currently right now. They're not doing all that great right now. So the fact that, he dropped 47 and got blown out by a team that's towards the bottom of the Western Conference should say a lot to people right now about his situation. And we all know that picture of him sitting on the bench, his arms. He's probably thinking, man, why did I get that? Why did I sign this extension?
Contract.
But the reason it's tough to feel bad for Bradley Beal right now is because, like I said, he signed that extension. Yep. And I remember when he signed the extension, he still had like a year left. His extension doesn't even start till next year.
I think so.
So Beal, he could have waited it out and then re-signed to see what the situation was. And especially considering Russell Westbrook. Now, he re-signed before Russ came. But now seeing that Russ is on the team, they're handicapped financially. It's not like they're a huge market like New York and LA and they can afford to spend a lot of money on guys. But it's just tough because, his situation, he could have avoided it and, he picked that extension. But where I think he should go, I'm going to say the Milwaukee Bucks because I think that when you look at that Bucks team, they're still a piece away. They are not where I think a lot of people expect them to be.
Who do you give up?
I think you got to give up Chris Middleton, man.
Chris Middleton.
Now, you could argue Middleton's not as good as Beal.
Yeah.
I can understand that. And they did give up a lot of picks in that holiday trade.
Yeah.
So you might have to include other pieces in that. I can't really think of a trade off the top of my head, but I know it's possible, especially considering Middleton's got a contract, a pretty hefty contract himself. So I think if you move Middleton out of there, you pair Drew with Bradley Beal in that backcourt, they complement each other perfectly because Beal's not a great defender. And I don't think Beal's defense is as bad as a lot of people make it seem, even though I still think he's not good on defense. But I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make it seem due to the offensive load he has to carry. Yep. But Drew complements his defensive weaknesses, and then offensively, it's not like Drew's the best shot creator. That's where Beal comes in. He complements him. Beal can fit on any team in the NBA. Yep. You want him on ball, he can do that. You want him off ball, he can do that. You want him to stay in the corner, he can do that. You want him to bring the ball up the court and initiate offense, he can do that. He can do everything you want on the offensive side of the ball from a guard in this league. And I think that when you put him on the Milwaukee Bucks, he can not only help them initiate offense, but he can create his own shot because that's what they need. They need a guy that can create and is a guaranteed bucket. As good as Middleton is and as efficient as he is and as great as he's been this year, he's not that guy. We've seen it time in and time out of Middleton in the fourth quarter struggling due to the fact that he just can't create in the clutch like that. We even saw recently the best example of this when the Nets played the Bucks, because Middleton takes that last three, and I get they wanted a three-point shot, but Giannis was cutting to the basket, and he missed him. So, and to be fair, Middleton should not be creating in those moments. I'm sorry. Giannis, people forget in the fourth quarter, he had 11 points. 11 points. Chris Middleton shot, I believe, 3 of 9 from the field, 33% in that fourth quarter. And if you go back to those fourth quarters against the Miami Heat, and I could be wrong about that game, by the way. Don't quote me on that.
About the Nets game?
Yeah, I could be wrong about that Nets game. But if you go back to that Miami Heat series, people always talk about the game that he got them in Game 4 where Giannis was out, dropped 19 before he left. But people forget, Middleton was ass in a lot of those fourth quarters. He was not playing well at all. So as far as I'm concerned, I think getting Beal, sure you're going to lose some on the defensive side of the ball, but you have more than enough pieces to still complement him and help hide those inefficiencies. Middleton's just not what they need.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that trade, like, is Beal that much of an upgrade over Middleton?
As a player, or are you talking about?
I mean, as a whole, as a fit, because obviously, they're both great shooters, good shooters. Mm-hmm. You know, they can both create. They're
not on the same level.
Yeah, Middleton is obviously a better defender than Bradley Beal, but
Bill's a better creator, though.
Yeah, Beal is a better creator, but you know, I don't know how this is gonna happen. I don't know how it's gonna work, but Bradley Beal needs to get the hell out of the Washington Wizards. Obviously with the contract he just signed, so I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna need to work. How it's gonna.
It's got to be this year because the contract.
He needs to get the hell out of Washington, and you know, he's averaging 35 35 points per game, and the Wizards have the worst record in the NBA. The worst record. The Russell Westbrook trade, obviously, we didn't see Russell Westbrook being this bad.
I mean,
we didn't know he was going to be this bad. We thought, obviously, some people thought the Wizards won the trade. Obviously with John Wall, not being all that healthy and whatnot. You think Russell Westbrook, you bring his firepower, with Bradley Beal.
Averaged 27 last year.
And they've got a couple of pieces. You think, okay, they can be the 8th seed, 9th seed at worst or whatnot. And they're the worst team in the league. And then I look at other teams out there who I think should, the 76ers, you couldn't make the James Harden trade. Bradley Beal is still out there if you want him. Go get him. Throw Ben Simmons and whoever they want, maybe Thibault.
It's a big blow.
Throw Ben Simmons and Thibault at the Wizards. Give me Bradley Beal because, like I've said before and I'll say it again, Ben Simmons is not winning you a chip. I don't care if you have Joel Embiid. He's not winning you a chip with Ben Simmons.
Okay, but if you can make a trade and it doesn't involve Ben Simmons, would you keep Ben Simmons on the team?
Who would the Wizards take Ben Simmons?
I would think you got to throw Danny Green, Matisse, maybe some picks. I don't know how that would work. Don't quote me on that, people. But
yeah.
I mean, if you could trade for Beal,
listen,
and maybe get a third team involved.
Yep.
If you could trade for Beal,
absolutely.
And keep
and keep
Ben Simmons, would you do that?
Great, absolutely, I would do that.
Okay.
But if I had to give up Ben Simmons, I'm not losing sleep over that. I'm giving away Ben Simmons because I know when you pair somebody as lethal as Bradley Beal with Joel, that's more lethal than Joel and Ben Simmons. So if I'm the 76ers, that's the call that I would also look to make. And also another team who has been struggling to start the season, the Miami Heat. They need to, pick up the phone and see what, Miami Heat fans, I don't know what your obsession with Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson is, but you've got stars out there. The James Hardens and especially before James Harden got traded, I was hearing Heat fans talk about, I'm not trading Tyler Hero for James. Are you
That's
dumb?
Weird.
What?
They're weird.
But that's the Miami Heat also. They're another team that should be looking at the situation in Washington because the Wizards. I don't know what their future looks like because they look lost. Because when you have a star in Bradley Beal. It makes me think of like Devin Booker because we've seen Devin Booker for like 2 or 3 years. We're like, okay, he's lethal. He needs help. He needs a star. What did they go out and do? Draft DeAndre Ayton. That won't get you over the hump. Now let's get a vet in Chris Paul. Now you look at the Suns and you like.
I mean, to be fair, that vet was supposed to be Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly. But, they still went and got Devin Booker some pieces. And now you look at the Suns like, okay, this team can, at least make some noise in the playoffs. But when you look at the Wizards, what's their future? What are they doing? You go and get Russell Westbrook for John Wall. Nobody thought John Wall was gonna even look this good, coming off of all those surgeries. But you go and get Russell Westbrook, who you've already made the case for is washed.
Yeah,
we can all make a case for Russell Westbrook being washed because he's just not the guy he used to be.
Laundry.
Literally,
like my laundry.
Literally,
like
he's just not the guy he used to be. And for the Washington Wizards, if you look at a team that can give you a couple of young pieces, can say, okay, like if the Miami Heat throw like Tyler Hero at you and Duncan Robinson, some young
Tyler
pieces, here and there, I will take that because Bradley Beal certainly doesn't want to be there. Obviously look at him on the bench, looks like he's in hell. Like I can't wait to get out. Like literally drops 47, it gets blown out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, and another thing I hate with seeing stars, get their prime wasted away is because in 5 years from now, we're going to be looking at Bradley Beal's career, and he's not going to be getting the respect that he fully deserves because they're just going to look at it as empty stats that, he wasn't winning. And I just think he needs to force his way out. I'm not saying go pull a James Harden, like literally show no effort because, Bradley Beal loves to play the game. But he's got to find a way.
And that means Harden doesn't love to play the game.
Stop. But he's got to find a way to force his way out of Washington because if he doesn't, he's just going to waste his prime years away.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, but, because that situation over there is totally ridiculous. The Wizards are just,
they're literally garbage fire.
Literally.
They don't deserve another second time.
Moving on to other trade rumors, the New Orleans Pelicans, another disappointing team that we all thought was going to be doing at least pretty good. But, to the start of the season, they've looked not quite up to par. They start the season with a 6-11 record. They have all the players healthy, which is shocking. And we thought they were going to be better than they are. And right now, they have 2 players on the trade rumors, Lonzo Ball and J.J. Redick. Lonzo Ball, somebody we thought was going to make the next jump
this year,
to being the player that we all know him to be. And some can make a case he's gotten worse. But where do you think Lonzo Ball should be traded to?
First, let me say this to all the Lonzo Ball fans out there, because I know there's a lot of y'all out there. It's a lot of y'all out there. You need to get it in your heads, this thing that we call a head and a brain inside of here, that Lonzo Ball is a bust. Like, we need to understand that. He is a bust. Yeah, I'm ready to go there. I've been said that.
Oof.
I've been said that. This guy was the 2nd pick in the NBA draft. Not only was he the 2nd pick, but he walked into the Los Angeles Lakers and people thought he was going to change life for the Lakers. Not only has this guy been disappointing, but this guy is struggling to make free throws. He can't finish with both hands. His 3-point shot, though it's improved greatly, aside from that nasty thing, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
It's evolved. But guess what? It's still inconsistent. He comes out there, some nights he can drop 16, 6, and 6. Next night he can drop 5, 5, 5. Triple single, man. And if he gets a triple-double, it's the Jason Kidd type of triple-double. It's the 10, 10, 10, 10. So as far as I'm concerned, Lonzo has failed to live up to the expectations. But now we've lowered the expectations because we don't expect him to be a superstar. We don't even expect him to be an all-star. Now we just want him to be a solid point guard that can initiate offense. But guess what? He can't even do that well. Want to know why he can't do that well? Because his shot is so inconsistent. And sure, it's better, but better doesn't mean it's where it needs to be. And I think a lot of people need to understand that when you assess Lonzo Ball. Is he a scrub? No, I'm not, in no means calling him a scrub. He has great vision. Though his shot's been wonky this year, he still is okay. Yeah. And not only that, but he's also a good playmaker. But the problem with Lonzo is, because his shot is so inconsistent, teams don't respect it. And this year, I kind of cut him a little bit of slack due to the fact that, to be fair, Van Gundy has not been using him well whatsoever. He's treating this guy as if he's J.J. Redick, throwing him in the corner, and that's unacceptable. But at the end of the day, we have to start holding Lonzo accountable. Averaging just 12 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 38% from the field, 30% from 3 on over 7 attempts per contest, and 58% from the free throw line. And mind you, I'm going to be specific here. He's attempting 0.9 free throws a game.
God.
He's not even getting to the line, and when he does, he can't even split his free throws. This is a disgrace. Your point guard, how can your point guard not be able to make free throws? He can't make free throws. Lonzo Ball is beyond a bust at this point. But enough of my Lonzo rant. Let me say this. If he needs to go anywhere, because he got to get the hell out of there at this rate. I think Golden State is a really good destination for him. And the reason I said that's a good destination for him.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, because there have been a lot of rumors about Kelly Oubre going to New Orleans. They're
I heard
interested
there was some
in
calls
that.
being made.
Yeah, there was some calls being made. And I definitely think that would benefit both sides. New Orleans getting rid of that trash. And then not only that, but in the case of the Golden State Warriors, they get a guy that can defend on the perimeter to help out Steph Curry for now. And then not only that, but they get a playmaker in Lonzo Ball, because they could always use that, because considering Draymond can play make, he's kind of a little limited due to the fact that nobody really respects his shot, but he's still a good playmaker, good high basketball IQ. And then also defensively, if you pair him, Wiggins has been great defensively this year, and Draymond, that's a nice trio of defenders right there. It could even help Wiseman, relieve some pressure off of him as a rim protector. He would just fit well on the team. And I'm going to say this. If Lonzo gets traded to the Golden State Warriors, that is your last chance, Lonzo. That is your last chance to be just decent, bruh. Just be decent. And the thing is with Lonzo is that he's had so many opportunities to prove that he can just be a solid point guard, and he's yet to prove that. Can't make free throws, can't finish with both hands, can't make a mid-range jumper. You're only a threat from behind the three-point line. And right now, you're shooting below league average on 7 attempts per contest. So, Lonzo, if you go to Golden State, that's your last shot. That was Andrew Wiggins' last chance, and he took advantage of it. So you need to step up, because everybody around you needs you to do so. But what's your thoughts on Lonzo?
I wouldn't go as far as saying Lonzo Ball is a bust because this guy over here.
He's a bust, man.
I would look at it because I'm gonna point the finger straight at Stan Van Gundy because I don't know what the hell that hire was about. I still don't understand it till this day.
2009,
exactly.
Man.
20 games in, I'm still lost on what the Pelicans are doing because I don't seem to understand. Lonzo Ball, when you look at being a point guard in the NBA, you're either a creator where you like pass the ball, or you're aggressive, the Damian Lillards, the Steph Currys, or you're either both, which is, all like
around.
The James Harden's always good. Alonzo Ball, he's not, you wouldn't call him the aggressive type because that was always my problem with Lonzo Ball coming out of college. He's not aggressive enough. He always passes the ball too much. When we look at his numbers last year, he averaged 12 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Which you would say is a pretty good number.
That's his best year.
7 assists. As a point guard, if you're not aggressive, at least you got to be doing something. He's a great passer with great vision, and he's a great defender. And now you look at his numbers this year with Stan Van Gundy, just averaging under 12 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 4.6 assists. 4.6 assists as the starting point guard. That's not good. I don't know if that's because of, the Eric Bledsoe addition, maybe Eric Bledsoe's, controlling the ball more, and Brandon Ingram emergence. Obviously the ball is a lot in Brandon Ingram's hands now, but Stan Van Gundy uses Lonzo Ball like he's a spot-up shooter, like he's a JJ Redick or Kyle Korver. No, that's your starting point guard. You got to run the plays through him a lot more than you already do. Now, when you talk about, okay, if the Pelicans want to trade him, who would they trade him to? I look at the Clippers. And I look at the Clippers, they don't have a playmaker. Patrick Beverley, he's not your guy. He's a good defender. Yes, I'll give you that.
He's shooting really well.
Getting that contract, shooting really well. But when you look at Lonzo's upside, when you look at Patrick Beverley, what can he do that Lonzo can't do?
Defend at an elite level.
I mean,
Lonzo's a good defender.
Lonzo's a good defender. It's not Patrick Beverley, but he can still defend at a high clip. He's a better passer. I wouldn't say he's as good a shooter, but he can shoot the ball. He's a lot improved or whatnot. And, I look at the Clippers and say, could the Clippers make a move for Lonzo Ball? Just bring that extra big body in, some length, and, see if they can give the Pelicans something. I don't know what they're going to give up, but, if you look at Lonzo Ball out there, make a trade for him, and, he could be a good fit because I just don't think the Pelicans are using him the right way. Stan Van Gundy, halfway through the season, I don't know if we're going to be calling for his job, but we're going to have some questions because the Pelicans do not look good right now. And I don't know because we look at all the pieces they acquired in the offseason, with Eric Bledsoe, Steven Adams, with the Drew Holiday trade. And we thought, okay, this team could, be in a playing game or something. But they don't even look like they're anywhere close to the playoffs right now, And pretty soon we're going to have some questions about the Pelicans.
And also, let me say this before we go on to break. When you see a lot of point guards that struggle with their shot, it's so hard for them to be stars in this league.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And you can even go back to years before the Steph Curry days. Rajon Rondo, he needed somebody like a Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, guys that could get their own shot for him to really be maximized to his fullest potential. You can look at guys like Andre Miller, not a great shooter. You're a solid playmaker, solid passer, but it's tough for you to really maximize your potential because your shot is so inconsistent and it affects your playmaking because teams don't respect your offensive game. Lonzo can't finish with both hands.
Nope.
He can't make a mid-range jumper. He can't even make a free throw. And for people to sit here and still call him an elite playmaker with all those flaws in his offensive game shows either a lack of basketball knowledge from those people or you're just watching highlights and you don't actually watch the games. Lonzo is not an elite playmaker. He's a good passer. I'll give him that. He's a great passer.
I mean, 7 assists, gotta give him credit.
He's a great passer. Great vision. But his playmaking ability, which is his best attribute, is handicapped due to his offensive inconsistencies. And people need to realize that. And the fact that he was given expectations to be Jason Kidd and Magic Johnson as a light-skinned dude, that's ridiculous. And I'm not saying light-skinned dudes can't do that. I'm just saying the light-skinned Magic. That's what people were saying. Light-skinned Magic. Nah, that stuff is dead. That's dead.
Anyways, we go on a commercial break right now. When we return, the All-Star voting opens today. Donovan Mitchell, Shaq had some words for him, but it seems like he's proven Shaq wrong. We'll dive straight into that when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to First Possession here on CRYOUT TV. Shaq has some comments for Donovan Mitchell telling him, he doesn't think he's good enough to, take the Jazz over the hump. But it seems like Donovan Mitchell are proving him and the Jazz are proving Shaq wrong because they are the number one team right now in the West, and they seem to be like a legit team, and they seem to, fit all the pieces together, and they look like they can make some noise. So do you think the Jazz right now can compete with the likes of the Lakers and the Clippers, to win the West?
No, I don't think they can.
Wow.
As much as I like the Utah Jazz, I think they're a great team. They're having a great season so far, but it is the beginning of the season. Let's give it some time. But I hate to say this because I really, really like Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, love him.
I really do. And I hope he can improve into becoming a number one, but I don't think he's there yet. Because as good as Donovan Mitchell is, he is 6'1", 6 feet.
Yeah.
Who really knows how tall he is? He looks short out there.
He jumps like a 6'7".
Yeah, he got bounce.
Yeah.
He's got the bounce. But the issue with D-Mitch is that I don't think he's talented enough to carry this team to a championship or at least contend in the West. They could give some teams a run for their money.
Definitely.
But I kind of look at them the way that the way that people kind of looked at the Nuggets over the past 2 years until the Nuggets proved people wrong in the bubble. But even the year before that, they were, I believe, the second seed in the West. And the whole year, people were like, they're not ready. We're not taking them serious. That's kind of how I look at the Jazz. They're not ready. I don't take them serious right now. Rudy Gobert, he's not skilled enough offensively. He's going to get exploited come postseason time, especially if opposing teams run some small ball lineups. We saw what the Nuggets did to him.
Yeah.
The Lakers could just put Anthony Davis at the 5 and force him to stretch the floor, and that just limits him. He can get burnt out. And not only that, but I also just think that he doesn't really have a legit number 2. Rudy Gobert is a great player, but he's not a legit number 2. He's not a legit scorer. He can't go out there and get a bucket or be an offensive weapon. Jordan Clarkson is nice. He's my pick for 6 Man of the Year currently, but he's not nice enough. They got some pieces there on that roster, but it's not enough to really be a legit contender in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I think they're contenders. And when I say I think they're contenders, I think they can compete at a high level in the West. Can they beat the Lakers? No. Can they give the Clippers a run for their money? As we've seen last year, except the Clippers show us something different in the playoffs, then we'll, to start taking them serious. The Utah Jazz, they're obviously right now the number 1 seed in the West, and, they're probably not going to be there for that long. But when you look at their team, it's well constructed. Mike Conley is looking like his old self right now. Playing at a really high clip, shooting the ball extremely well. The pickup they had with Bogdanovich, they picked him up. Rudy Gobert, y'all know how I feel about him, but he's always going to be Rudy. And Donovan Mitchell is playing at a really high clip right now, and Jordan Clarkson giving them some high minutes off the bench, and Joe Ingles. We all know Joe Ingles and what he brings to the table. We all know what he brings to the table. And when you look at the Utah Jazz as a whole, and you look at what they bring to the table, I think they can compete with the best of them, like the Clippers. I don't know if they have enough to beat the Lakers yet, but I think they can give the Clippers and the Nuggets a run for their money. The best teams in the West, the Trailblazers. Yes, I know they choked last year being up 3-1 to Denver, but they were up 3-1. Yes, you got to finish the job, but, to be up 3-1 against a really good team that beat the Clippers, you also got to be a good team. And I think, the Utah Jazz, I think they're better this year than they were last year. And, in the first round, being up 3-1, and then, gave up that lead to Denver. I think now they have that experience under their belt. They have, a lot of maturity. Mike Conley is now a much better leader, a much better shooter. The pickup for Bogdanovich, Jordan Clarkson, he looks more comfortable. And I think they can give somebody like the Clippers a run for their money. Like I said, I don't think they have enough to beat the Lakers, but I think we should take them serious because they're a good team. They're a really good team. And if they face somebody like the Clippers, or the Clippers sleeps on them like they slept on Denver, they could catch them off guard. And then we could be looking at a Utah Lakers Western Conference Finals. That's a big statement, but I'm saying
it could happen.
It's not impossible. It's not impossible. As we've seen with the Clippers, it's not impossible. Anything can happen in the NBA, but they look.
Let me say this though. I also think Donovan Mitchell, because he started off the year really slow, And I want to read his numbers so far.
Yeah.
Since that slow start that he had in the month of January, these are his numbers. 25 points a game, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 48% from the field, 45% from 3 on over 8 attempts a game, and is also shooting 86% at the free throw line. He has been incredible this year. Defensively, he's also a solid defender as well.
Yeah, he's a pretty good defender.
And I just don't think he's enough to really lead this particular team.
Yeah.
Maybe if he was on a different team, he could lead them to a chip. But I think as they're constructed, he needs another offensive weapon that can legit be elite.
Yeah, I don't think they have a legit number 2, but I think they have a
bunch of number
3,
3
4,
and 4s
5 that can come together,
Yeah.
and you say, okay, that could be a good number 2. You know,
Yeah.
not like one individual guy, but a couple
Add
of
it up.
guys,
Yeah.
batted up into one day.
But we all know the playoff is about stars.
Yeah, playoff is about stars.
You need that.
And,
You need go-to guys, especially in late game
Like if
situations.
teams decide to double team Donovan
Yeah.
Mitchell,
Who's
does
gonna
he
take-
pass-
who's gonna
pass
take
the
over?
ball?
Is it gonna be Conley?
Exactly.
Clarkson?
But, you know,
Who
I think the
knows?
Jazz, they have a great head coach, you know, and they can, you know,
Snyder
put
is
some-
doing a great job out there.
Absolutely.
And
And, you know,
Snyder's
they can
doing
put
nice.
something together. Moving on. Halfway through the season, some NBA rookies have really impressed us, and we're going to talk about right now who has impressed us the most, because the top 10 picks, they look legit. LaMelo Ball, you know, he had this little spurt where he, you know, he had his triple-double, youngest ever to post a triple-double in a game. James Wiseman.
I think he broke his brother's record.
Yeah, he broke Lonzo's record. James Wiseman's looking good. Anthony Edwards looking good. Tyrese is also looking good. Halliburton, he's looking good. But right now, I'm going to ask you, what NBA rookie right now have you been impressed?
Let me tell y'all something.
Don't
Let me tell
do
y'all
it.
something. Let me tell y'all something.
What NBA rookie right now have you been most impressed with?
Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I want to pat myself
Well, you
on
called
the
it?
back. Yeah, I called this. I want to pat myself on the back.
Wow.
To all my YouTube people out there, y'all know I am so high on Tyrese Halliburton.
Wow.
Huge high on him. This guy was made fun of because of his wacky little jump shot, and it is wacky. I will admit.
It's still kind of...
It's still wacky. But this guy so far this season has been amazing. Amazing. Buddy Hield, enjoy your time in Sacramento
don't
now.
do that.
Because your spot will be taken over
No
soon.
way.
Tyrese right now is averaging 11 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and a steal, shooting 48% from the field, nearly 49%, 46% from 3, on nearly 5 attempts a game, and he's also shooting 82% at the free throw line. Tyrese is a great playmaker. He's shots. He's going out there. His defense is a little, it's whatever. That's what it is. What it is. You can't expect too much on the defensive side of the ball from a rookie, and he's coming off the bench anyway. So, but offensively, he's had a huge impact on that team. He's brought something to the field that that Buddy Hield has not been able to bring, and that's the playmaking aspect. And he's making threes. I get he's not as good as a shooter as Buddy Hield, and teams don't defend him the way they defend Buddy Hield. But I still think that over time, he's going to be able to step into that role, and him and De'Aaron Fox are going to be a nice backcourt. I know James Wiseman is doing good in Golden State. I know Melo's doing well in Charlotte. But as far as I'm concerned, considering the expectations combined with what he's accomplished this year, Tyrese is my pick for the Rookie of the Year. And mind you, my mind was changed like a couple days ago. For those who follow me on Instagram, I even dropped my Rookie of the Year picks. I had LaMelo number 1, but I can't really do that no more because as I looked into it a little bit more, LaMelo's still a little inconsistent.
I think the thing with LaMelo is they're not letting him
be him.
You know, just limiting his minutes, bringing him off the bench.
Hey, you still think he should come off the bench?
Absolutely. I still stand by that.
Come on, man.
I still stand by that. Obviously, you've seen recent play. He's just not ready yet. And we shouldn't rush him. Give him some time. He will come into it. But that's not my most impressive rookie right now. James Wiseman has been the most impressive rookie to me so far this season. Most of the rookies, they've been pretty good. We didn't expect any one rookie to be a star coming straight out the gates. And most of the guys that the top picks, they've been impressive. First of all, before I dive into James Wiseman, the Timberwolves, please let Anthony Edwards eat. Please, because
that man is shooting 35% from the field.
No, Anthony Edwards, he's legit. I'm telling you.
You talk about LaMelo, man.
If you contain Anthony Edwards and don't let him be him, you're gonna miss out on something.
Let me tell you
really
something.
big.
Andrew Wiggins 2.0.
Oh, brother, no.
Andrew Wiggins 2.0.
No. But anyways, let me go straight into my most impressive rookie, which is James Wiseman. I think.
Let me chill out. Let me stop.
This kid right here, James Wiseman, he can be one of the best big men in the game in about 5 years.
Bold take.
James Wiseman can be one of the best big men in the game in about 5 years. If you look at his numbers right now, 12.6 points per game and 5.9 rebounds. That's after he's been withdrawn off his starting spot, coming off the bench here and there. And also when you look at Draymond Green's leadership that he's given him, obviously help him mature faster with the game, know certain spots to be in the game. He's also averaging 1.4 blocks per game. And now let me give you an very interesting stat. He's shooting 42% from the three.
I know it ain't that many attempts, though.
If you take him, you got to make him, right?
Care, bro.
And he's shooting 42% from
he's shooting better than Ben Simmons.
That's something, right?
That's something.
But, he's shooting 42% from the three. Obviously, he's getting better day by day. And when you look at him as a player, I think he can be a stud in a couple of years, and he has a great upside. He's not a great defender, but he blocks shots here and there. He tries on defense. Obviously, playing with Draymond and him being
Draymond is definitely
you got to play defense or whatnot. I think James Wiseman, he's going to be a star that we're going to have to watch out for in the next couple of years. But he's been my most impressive rookie right now so far, midway through the season.
Okay, yeah, I think James Wiseman has been pretty good. It's weird because the expectations for these rookies, it's not too high.
Yeah.
Because they've gone through stuff that no other rookie class has gone through.
Yeah.
With the impact of COVID-19, not just on their college seasons, but even on the draft.
Yeah.
The draft was virtual.
Yeah.
They didn't even get the chance to go walk the stage and all of that. And it really sucks. I kind of feel for them a little bit. So their experiences are different. So a lot of people that are expecting them to come out the gates like Luka Doncic did or Trae Young did. It's not going to happen like that. They got to get adjusted to the NBA. And in the case of even Wiseman and LaMelo played overseas.
Yeah.
Then Wiseman only played 3 games at Memphis. So, it is what it is with those guys. They're going to have to get readjusted to the new system and just the way the NBA works.
I think most of them have done pretty well. Pretty fair. We don't expect them to 25 making the All-Star team. We didn't hold any of those guys to a high standard. But I think most of those guys have done better.
Wait a minute.
Who you trying to give a shout out?
We got to give a shout out to.
Who?
My guy, Patrick Williams.
Oh, brother.
Patrick
the Bulls stink.
No. Chill out, bro. We do not stink that bad. There are way worse teams than the Bulls right now. Just saying.
I'll give you
and besides, it's not like we were expected to be some dominant team.
I'll give you that.
Let me tell you this, man. They clowned us on draft day for getting this man. And now he's performing he's actually exceeding the expectations. Yeah. And guess what? These same people are silent. You're silent. I love Pat Will, keep doing what you're doing. Your mid-range game, bottom of the net. Your three-point shot needs a little bit of work, but you can make it from the corners. I'll give it to you there, but you do need a little bit of work there.
Yeah.
And defensively, I know you're gonna win a depoy one day. I know you are. I can see it. I can literally see the future, man. I can see it. You're going to do it. Now all we gotta do is trade Laurie and move on from there, bro.
A lot of impressive rookies, but one guy just real quick that I would say has sort of disappointed, Obi Toppin. One of the biggest names coming in.
He was hurt.
He's been injured,
hurt,
absolutely. But
he's gonna be a bust.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That's too early. We're not
Dude, anything that goes to New York dies. I don't think people get
fair enough, but I wouldn't go that far yet.
Kevin Knox, remember him? Dennis Smith Jr., remember him?
You don't know how much I love Kevin Knox coming out of college. The Knicks are just a dysfunctional
Remember
franchise.
Dennis Smith Jr.?
Him also.
Yeah, the only guy that drafted him. I know, they killed his career, though. The only guy that survived is Mitchell Robinson. And he's just the defensive guy. That's it.
Anyways, moving on. The All-Star voting opens today. And right now, we're just going to give our starting 5 All-Star who we think are the starting 5 from the East. I don't know how they're doing it this year with his team, the captain, with Team Giannis and Team LeBron. But we're going to give you our starting 5 from the East and our starting 5 from the West. You kick it off.
Oh, you want me to go first?
You kick it off.
Okay, for the East, I'm going to go at the guard spot, Kyrie Irving and James Harden.
Oh.
And then for the forwards, because it's just 3 forwards, 2 backcourt, 3 front court. I'm going to go LeBron, not LeBron. I'll be forgetting LeBron not in the East.
LeBron's in the West.
I'm going to go Kevin Durant. I'm going to go Giannis. And I'm going to go Joel Embiid. Now let me hear your Eastern Conference starting
Giannis,
five.
and Joel.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody should have this as unanimous. Are you gonna tell me? Don't do this, bro. Don't do this.
I'm going James Harden.
For what? Like, I mean, it's
Point
two guards.
guard.
It's two guards anyway. It's two guards.
Okay, James Harden, point guard.
Okay.
Bradley Beal.
Oh my goodness! No, I mean that's not bad, but like, come on, man.
I
Come
get
on.
the record is washed, but
Come on, dude.
let's not
Stop
do that
that.
again. Let's not punish Bradley Beal's
Nigga,
All-Star.
why did he come off the bench, man?
Let's not
He's a reserve. Let him be a reserve.
Bradley Beal leading the league in scoring.
Bro, they're losing.
He's on the worst team in NBA.
They're
But
losing,
that's
man.
not his fault.
No one's saying it's his fault, but you can't just throw him as a starter.
He just started.
Dude.
Come on.
What? No.
Don't disappoint your
They
fans.
stink.
Do not disappoint. We're not doing this again. Punishing Bradley Beal for the
Okay,
Wizards.
time out. Then we literally get people were up in arms when Trae Young was a starter last year. This is the same thing. This is even worse. They have the worst record in the NBA.
If Bradley Beal is not a starting All-Star, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh my gosh.
Literally.
That's a pity vote. I'm not gonna lie.
Pity?
That's a pity vote.
He's literally doing all he can with the Wizards, and
All
they
he can. So why can't he play defense?
He's averaging 35.
Why can't he play defense?
He's averaging 35.
And I actually
just
can blame him for
bad.
the situation. He signed the extension. He
Oh,
knew what he was
come on.
signing up for.
Hey, he thought they were going to be at least good. They are terrible. Awful.
He signed that extension when John Wall tore his Achilles. I don't care, man. Miss me with
Anywho,
that.
Harden's my starting point guard. I want to put Kyrie, but Kyrie obviously has missed some games or whatnot. But James Harden hasn't missed any games. So I'm not putting James Harden on it. But James Harden's
You're
not
right. He
coming
just
off
quit
the
a few
bench.
of them. He just quit
James
a few
Harden's
of them.
not. Don't. Come
He
on.
quit a few of them.
Don't piss me off. Harden is starting point guard. Bradley Beal, obviously the second guard. And I'm going to go Kevin Durant for forward. Joel Embiid, another forward.
Dude, don't do that. Giannis,
ladies and
dude,
gentlemen.
Stop it, bro. Dude, are you serious?
I'm going Jaylen Brown. Over Giannis, I'm not going to say his last name because I don't know how to say it. Antetokounmpo. I'm going Jaylen Brown over Giannis for starters. Yes, my friend. I'm going Jaylen Brown. My starting five, James Harden, Bradley Beal, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant, and Joel Embiid. Giannis, come off the bench, my friend.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm sorry. It's just what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's just what it
Ladies and
is.
gentlemen.
It's just what it is.
Look,
Harden, what are you gonna
I just
say?
want to
That's
say
a
this.
ridiculous
wait.
pick.
I'm just gonna say
Come
this.
on.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Jaylen Brown?
Yes, that's ridiculous.
Go look up his numbers.
Guys, I don't care what his numbers
Oh,
are.
okay.
I don't care if he's averaging 50. Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, my friend.
Look,
the truth hurts.
Look,
I know.
get your hands off me.
The truth
Get your hands
hurts,
off
my
me.
friend.
You don't want me to hit you right now.
The
Look,
truth hurts,
guys,
my friend.
Guys, when
I
I
understand.
tell y'all, I do not condone what he just said. That guy is beyond.
If
ridiculous.
nobody will say it, I will say it. Okay? I don't mean to seem like the bad guy here, but Jaylen Brown has had an outstanding season. I know Giannis has too, but no, my friend, you gotta come off the bench. Got to.
Bro, just move on, man.
Got to.
Let's move on.
Let's move
Say-
on to
say your West starters,
Let's move
bro.
on to
Say
the
your
West.
West
It's
starters.
okay. The truth hurts, my friend.
Oh God,
For West, let's move on.
that was bad.
You want to go first?
You're gonna regret that pick soon. You're gonna regret that.
But anyways, let's go with the West. I'm going Steph Curry.
So that's
Go ahead.
unanimous.
Oh, okay, unanimous.
Unanimous. Just like his unanimous MVP, but go on.
Okay, now I'm gonna go D. Mitch. I'm going Donovan Mitchell for starting in the West, and I'm also gonna go
Dude,
Paul George.
PG's fine. I'm good with that.
Paul George for forward.
Dude.
LeBron James, obviously, he's been there for the last 50 years, so LeBron is gonna start. And the last, Jokic. So Steph, Mitchell, Paul George, LeBron James, and Jokic. Wait, who would you take out D. Mitch for? Because they're number one in the West right now.
Dude, what?
He's the best player on the team. Who would you take out D.
Man,
Mitch
get that
for?
shit out of here. I don't
Who
care
would you
about
take out
that.
D. Mitch for?
Look, let me give you my starting five, man. Let me give y'all the right starting five. Steph Curry, Damian Lillard. Steph Curry, Damian Lillard. You can slash Luka in there.
Are we not rewarding winning? Are we not? Are we just taking away from the fact that the Portland Trailblazers are 2 games over 500 and the Utah Jazz are #1 in the West? Are we just not going to reward winning?
You know what we are looking at? You know,
the best way on the best team.
You know what we are looking at, though?
What?
We're looking at the fact that C.J. McCollum is out. We're also looking at the fact
he's been out for just about 3 games.
Okay,
4 games.
And they've lost some of those games. We're looking at the fact that Nurkic is out.
Okay.
We're also looking at other pieces. Rocco was out also. So Damian Lillard had to carry way much of a load. And also, we're forgetting that, I don't even get why I have to argue this. I don't even get. We're debating Donovan Mitchell and Damian Lillard. Look, I am one of those people.
Trae Young made it over.
And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. So forget that. I'm going Steph Curry, Damian Lillard. You can put Luka also if you want to. Really up to you guys.
Luka over Paul George?
No, I'm talking about for the guard position.
Oh, well, it's only 2 guards and 3
I know.
forwards.
That's what I'm saying. You can put Luka or Dame. It just really, you can flip a coin on that. I don't care. For my guards, I'm going to go Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic. That's what I'm going with.
I think Paul George has had a better season than Kawhi.
No, he's not. No, he hasn't.
Wow.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous to not put D. Mitch as a starter because he's the best player on the best team in the West. So you've got to put him in the starting lineup. That's just what I think. I mean, but hey, what do I know?
Yeah, what do you know?
We got to award winning, right? I mean, but
dude,
hey,
you have Bradley Beal.
We got to award. No, Bradley Beal, come on. We give him a break.
We give him
a break.
Jaylen Brown, dude.
We give him a break.
Guys, I just want y'all to know this guy just said that Jaylen Brown should start in the All-Star game over Giannis.
We give him a break.
Giannis.
It's okay. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. Your
disrespect. You didn't even say Jason Tatum. That's what's crazy too.
But anyways, we'll be right back. Quick commercial break. We're gonna talk about Chad Wheeler and that incident. We're gonna talk about Michael Porter Jr. and some other outstanding players that deserve some love so far in the season. And obviously, to wrap it up, we're gonna be talking about the great Kobe Bryant. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. First Possession here. I'm still John, and we're still here with my partner David, and we're still talking all things sports. But obviously, dealing with sports, we got to address some issues that are connected to sports. And on a more serious issue here, Chad Wheeler, the Seattle Seahawks offensive tackle, being accused of assaulting his girlfriend. We're glad she made it, but, we just want to talk about that real quick because it is an issue that's very sensitive and it is something that is also dear to us and we have to address it because we are truly devastated by the issue that happened to that young woman. And my friend, just give me your quick reaction to that because, obviously looking at the images online, it was really sad to see and, we just have to address it.
When I heard the news, it was a sad story and sad read. To his girlfriend, I'm just glad she's okay.
Yeah,
that she can, say her story. Chad Wheeler's, he's a coward.
Punk.
He's a punk for real. Obviously, if he's innocent, and that comes out, then we'll address that. But the way things looking, it doesn't look like he's innocent at all. He was released by the Seahawks for good reason. It's just a really unfortunate situation. He's just a terrible person. This guy's a thug. It's not even the fact that because beating a woman is already bad enough.
Yeah,
it's already bad enough. You're a professional athlete. You have physical advantages. You work out every day with huge guys to get bigger. It's really unfortunate that there are people out there that think they can just do whatever they want to women. And when you actually read the description, this guy said, I can't believe you're still alive.
Yeah.
That right there just shows how much of a sick human being he is, But, there are always going to be good people in this world. There are always going to be bad people in this world. And this is a problem that has really existed throughout the NFL for a long time.
Yeah.
We can always go back to Ray Rice and, other issues with other guys. Remember Ben Roethlisberger, he was accused of. There are a lot of guys in the NFL that have been accused of even way worse than this. But I'm just glad the Seahawks cut bait and didn't look back.
Yeah, absolutely. And, before I dive straight into this, I'm just going to look at the camera. And if you hit women, or if you saw any kind of woman, whatever, you're a coward. We do not support you. We do not appreciate it. And, just looking at Chad Wheeler right now, he should never be allowed on the NFL field ever again. Because, obviously looking at the images, the reports was that he choked her until she was unconscious, and then when she gained consciousness was when she, was able to go and call the cops, and, we were able to, know the full situation. And reports were also that, he's dealing with mental illness. Please, please, and please, if you're dealing with some sort of mental illness, go find some help. Call somebody. There are a lot of resources online. Go to your nearest clinic. There are a lot of resources that can help you out with your mental illness. We do not take mental illness as a joke because it is a real thing. But it's also no excuse to domestically assault anybody, a woman for that, in fact. We do not support it. We demolish it. And we wish all the best to that young woman. And we hope that, she, has a speedy recovery. And we wish all the best to that woman.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, bro.
Absolutely. We just had to address that real quick because, obviously it's something that's dear to us. Obviously, her being a black woman, we had to address it. But moving on, guys. Let's talk some more sports.
Yeah.
Let's talk some more sports. We just added a new segment today. It's called Show Me Love, which is basically, this is a sports show. So sometimes we like to criticize a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And we like to call them out, as my friend has a history of doing to Andrew Wiggins and me to Rudy Gobert and Giannis. But Show Me Love is basically a segment to, show some guys love, show some guys that have been playing really good recently. Obviously, a lot of outstanding players, but my guy who I'm going to be showing some love today is Michael Porter Jr., who before the season started, I thought was going to win Most Improved Player. And so far, yes, he has missed a ton of time due to health protocols and safety protocols. But, coming back from all of that, the Denver Nuggets are on a 4-game winning streak. And he's averaging 18 points per game, 7.1 rebounds a game. And he's shooting 52% from the three-pointer, which is a pretty impressive number also, with 83% from the free throw line. We all said, watching him from last year's playoffs, if the Denver Nuggets can get Michael Porter Jr. to be the player that we know he can be, obviously he can take them to the next level. So Michael Porter Jr. is the guy that I'm going to be showing some love today because obviously he's an impressive young star and is somebody that we have to reckon with, who is also going to be a force in the NBA coming up. And so that's my guy who I'm just going to show some love. What do you think about Michael Porter Jr., who has been outstanding in the few games that he has played this season?
I think Michael Porter Jr., he's a perfect offensive player.
Yep.
Like, he's just amazing. Like, he doesn't really have a weakness in his offensive game. It's just about bettering it and becoming more consistent.
Yep.
And he's been doing that this year. You read the numbers. He's been doing really well. He's efficient. Defensively, he got to get better. He's still getting better. He's still getting better. He's actually a really good weak side shot blocker. He can be a good off ball player. I still think he has potential in that area, especially as a weak side shot blocker. The only issue, like I said, if he gets better on defense, like the Nuggets, that's a legit team. Like that's a legit. Like they're gonna be, because you could argue they're not even legit right now. That what they did last year, they can't really replicate that anymore because the level of Jamal Murray's play was just insane. But I think that Michael Porter Jr., the way he's progressing, he can be that piece that if you put next to Jokic and then have Murray as a 3 guy, man, that's a dangerous big 3 right there.
Yeah, but Michael Porter Jr., because we've seen flashes and we say, okay, if he can just put it together, they could be a real team. But, that's my guy. I'm going to show him some love. We criticize a lot of guys here, but we're going to add that into the show right now. Show me love, which means show somebody some love because of their outstanding play so far, and Michael Porter Jr. is that guy for today. And moving on to the last and final segment of the day, we cannot end the show without remembering the great Kobe Bryant, who impacted a lot of lives. January 26, 2021, will make it a year since he passed away, since he left us. And, we're just going to be remembering Kobe Bryant right now. What was your favorite Kobe moment? Because it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. But if you had to pick one.
It's kind of tough to say my favorite, like his last game was pretty cool. But I would say my favorite has to be, and this is going to be random. A lot of people are probably not even going to even care about this moment. but my favorite moment had to have been when Kobe, it was game 1 versus the Orlando Magic, right? And I had been watching the NBA for years, or not years, but a good amount of time at that point. I was only 9 years old. But I remember sitting in my couch in the living room watching this guy. And I remember the year before, he didn't even play well in the finals. He underperformed against the Celtics. And I saw him sitting down, and he had this still face like, I'm about to destroy these guys. I'm about to destroy them. And he went out there, dropped 40. I still remember every bucket. He didn't even make a 3 that night.
Yeah.
That man was killing them in the mid-range, getting to the basket at will, getting to the free throw line. And he was even still playing great defense on the other side of the ball. He killed them, and it was that moment that I was like, yeah, this is like my favorite player in the NBA. This guy, like the mentality that he had, his approach to the game, I appreciated it. And not only that, but that's the game that really got me into basketball, you know. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, like this is a sport that I really love.
Yeah. You know, obviously, Kobe's death hit way harder because, you know, me, I not many people know this, but I started off as a soccer player. And, you know, my freshman year of high school, I transitioned into basketball because I just started to fall in love with the game more. And, you know, obviously, I just was just watching tapes on YouTube, and I came across a Kobe video. I'm like, yeah, that dude is a killer. You know, he's the guy, you know, I want to be like. Started, you know, everybody's imitating the Kobe fadeaway.
Kids don't know that now.
If your kids shoot a trash paper in the trash can and call Curry, please slap their hand.
I mean, come on now, you know, chill out.
Hey, it's Kobe all day, every day. But, you know, on a more serious note, you know, Kobe Bryant, you know, impacted a lot of lives on and off the court. My favorite moment, I would say, was the last game of the season. You know, I mean, last game of his career, actually.
Well,
you
was
know,
the last game of their season, too.
Last game of their season also. I think they eliminated the Utah Jazz out of the playoffs.
No. The Jazz were already eliminated that night. The Rockets, I think. Or somebody won earlier that night.
I think. But the Jazz were still in the race during that time. But, you know.
It might have been,
I thought, well, how much is Kobe going to score today? How many shots is he going to take? I was predicting about 30, but he went out and dropped 60. And, you know, that whole night was just crazy, the whole shebang and whatnot. You know, in January 26, 2020, he left us. You know, he passed away. You know, our condolences to, you know, all the, you know, not just Kobe and Gianna, but, you know, there were also other people on the plane, you know, I don't know how to say their name, but, you know, also condolences to their family. And we wish, you know, everybody, you know, find some way to deal with it and, you know, move on. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But anyways, that's it for today, guys. We thank you guys for tuning in. First Possession here on CRYOUT TV. I'm your host, John, here with David. We'll be right back next week's Super Bowl week. We might pull something out the hat next week.
Yes, sir. We will.
We might pull something out the hat.
No, Mike. We will
pull something out the hat next week. But anyways, guys, stay tuned for the next possession. We'll be back. First Possession here. We out.